Would Will Smith call his right hand the Chris Rocker? I don't know. All right.
Do this just for the sake of doing it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna talk a little fast because I have a lot of information to get through. So just bear with me here. So my name is Will Iriarty. You can call me Will, but I'd like to start off by saying I think it's very important that when it comes to making, there's some speaker notes here that I'm probably not going to use, but when it comes to making like a research topic or anything, it's very important that you have to. I mean, this could apply to anything, like an art project or just anything that you're creating. It's important to care about what you're doing. You have to be passionate or else it won't be good enough, which is why I chose an interesting topic or something that's interesting to me so I can make it so I can actually care about what I'm making. So it's also why there's a bit of a backstory to this that I'm not going to sugarcoat. It drags on a bit to meet the 5-minute quota. So around the beginning of fall semester, there was a problem that I had with myself that have just gone under the radar for a very long time, and it came to a certain point where I could deny it no longer. I was getting fat, so I decided to go to the gym. My good friend Corey Wu, he's a personal trainer now. It's actually really cool. He was like, "Hey, you want to go to the gym?" I was like, "I'll go to the gym." I just wanted to be a little healthier in my life, and I'm 7 months now. I have my own programs, and I'm pretty much just lifting on my own, and now I can lift. I can bench 155, press over 500, some good numbers. But the main focus here is I started, something I noticed is that I started to feel better about myself generally. I started doing my homework more, and at the end of the day, I just felt proud of myself because I was doing all this work and I was being productive, and I just felt better about myself. And it was important that Corey was there because, I would have been so lost at the gym. He helped me through a lot of things. I was, there were some really scary buff dudes there. I'm not gonna lie, and he just helped me through everything. So I felt like I was cared about too. So all of this is to say, this is my research question: to what extent does exercising benefit your mental well-being, or does going to the gym make you happier? I mean, that I have to put it in a formal way, but that's basically what I wanted to aim. And all of my sources that I found come to a very similar conclusions that exercise benefits your mental well-being to a very great extent. But I wanted to make sure that they all tackle the problem at different angles so I could get a diverse amount of sources that discuss different topics but answer the question in the same way to make it really solid that this is the answer to this question. So the first source I found was on this government website. I don't remember what it was called. I have it at the end. I'll show it. But basically it talked about when you exercise, what are the biological factors, what are the chemical reactions in your brain? And here, these were some of the models. I mean, in psychology, most models are just words pointing to more words. So this is what you're going to be seeing for the next 3 slides. But here it was saying physical activity improves the functioning of the HPA axis. That's the hypothalamus, which is up here, pituitary glands, just here somewhere, and behind the kidneys is the adrenal glands. That butterfly feeling you get in your stomach? Them's the adrenals. So actually it's the whole HPA axis, isn't it? It's just it manages stress, and the improvement in that would mean reduction of cortisol levels. I'm assuming most of you know what that is already. It's a stress hormone. So the reduction of that reduces stress. I might have to read this again. Not sure what this means, but I'm sure it's good. So over here we have another model that they had. It talked about how this endorphin reduces depressive and anxiety systems, and exercise causes that endorphin. So therefore, that is the conclusion that they came to. Yeah. So this one was same website actually. But this one isn't less the biological factors and more, it's a quantitative study, as you can see. So it's an interview. They interviewed a very large population of people, and they took a lot of factors to consider. They asked about age, gender, like IQ, I think was one of them. What else? Oh yeah, influence of like family and friends. You know, my friend Corey. That would be a factor. He helped me get through it, and it basically gets to the same answer, but instead of talking about like the chemical reactions, it just talks with people and like compares like if they exercise or not and how they're feeling. And there's a lot more things, but that they like considered, but we don't have time for that. All right, source 3. This article was very interesting. So this was written by this guy, Paul Reed, or Reed Paul, one of the two. It's Paul Reed, right? Paul Reed, yeah. So, he was very knowledgeable. You know, he is the speaker notes part. He is the admiral for U.S. Public Health Service and admiral, and he's also the director of Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion. So, he knows his stuff, right? And something I liked about the article, what separates it from the previous two, this isn't a scholarly article, this is from a different website, but like he talks in a very like personal tone that made it really like he cared about what he was talking about, and what he was talking about was important. And like I said, very laid back, very personal, but still informative, and like he knows what he's talking about. And this quote perfectly demonstrates that. You know, like he says no kidding, very informal stuff, but he's still very like informative, and that's why I wanted to get like a more diverse source. Now this is probably my favorite source. So I was just researching on YouTube, and like initially I was like, I'm never gonna put a YouTube video in my project because normally they give professional research papers like a bad rep. But I saw this video and I loved it, and I really wanted to include it because it would also add a whole nother extent of diversity, just like the previous one. Not, I say similar to previous, but in the sense that they get to the same conclusion, but also like the way they talk about stuff. Like she talks about how she shifted her whole like research to this topic, and it was very interesting. I left the link, but I don't think any of you can click that. So it just look this up, look up that, like it's a very interesting video. It's very nice. And I thought this was like halfway through, like 7 minutes. This was a very powerful quote that I really liked. I'm not gonna lie, this one I had a hard time understanding this one. This is another scholarly article, very similar to 1 and 2, but more talked about like the biological factors that are directly related to mental health rather than just by like other general biological factors. And I don't necessarily understand all these words, but what it was trying to say is that there are a lot of factors that affect mental health, and exercise training can affect all of them. So that's what that was trying to say. Oh, and there's the link. This is where I found 1, 2, and 5. I don't know what those stand for. Like Public Med Central, National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. I don't know what NCBI. It's like biotechnology or something. But yeah, that was basically my presentation. And I know this class is incredibly talkative, so I provided some questions that you can ask. So now all of you have no excuse and should all be raising your hands right now.
What was your prediction?
That's a very good creative question. So obviously I said that like in the effects slide, I felt very good about myself, you know. So my initial prediction was to a great extent. This was before I did any research. This was more just to, I just wanted to find more, like personally, I just wanted to know more information about what's happening when you exercise. Why do you feel better?
Got any jokes?
Not really. Like, would Will Smith call his right hand the Chris Rocker? I don't know. All right, next question. Sorry. One thing I'd like to say about your presentation, you were very passionate about what you were talking about.
I mean, I went up and did something. I don't know what I did.
Do I have a mouse? What's up?
Are there any other factors that were studied/measured?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that. So in this one, I have a list of things that they measured that I just want to talk about. They asked whether or not they exercised. They studied IQ for some reason. This was really funny. They measured competence with a number. That was cool. They talked about the enjoyment of exercise, their physical appearance, how they thought about it, and a couple of the dependent variables that they measured were self-acceptance, positive relations, environmental mastery. Not gonna lie, I don't know what that means. purpose in life and personal growth, which were all very interesting.
Did you like ever since you started lifting, like your diet change? Like,
Not really. Not exactly. I tried to this was actually really recent. I started drinking I've been starting to drink more water. Well, I always drank this whole thing of water every day before even I started working out. But my main focus was I wanted to just have the motivation to go to the gym like 5 to 6 days every week. I didn't really want to focus on diet because I just wanted to focus on getting to where I am. But recently, I've completely banned myself from drinking any soda. I started having the Whole Foods. Corey, he has that Weight Watchers app. He has all this stuff that he keeps track. He's a professional at that stuff. I'm just trying to just be healthier. What's funny? I'm doing great, by the way. Thanks
Do
for
you
asking.
have any questions regarding all these question lists?
Yeah, what's up?
What's your favorite color?
That's a good question. I forgot I wrote that. I don't know. I'd say green.
Noted pick.
are there like any lifts that make you happier than others?
Like I said right now, I hate bench press. I really I have an ab day. I do this thing called cable curl twists and do the obliques. Those are nice. But also, I really like the chest fly stuff. Those are some of my favorites. Corey described it as the one on the cable. You're like this. He's you're fighting your demons. I'm that's a really weird way of saying it. But it's really nice one. It's one of my favorites.
So it seems like you have used your assigned time. I really like the way you are interweaving your personal narrative into your research. So yeah, it was a wonderful job.